Hello all, welcome back to Rogue Trader. I'm of course game operator and narrator. So it's been a hot minute since we've actually sat here and played the game. There's been a few things that have popped up since our last run through. We got the Lex Imperialis DLC when we were starting to go through and lean into this a little bit heavy. The Infinite Museum has also come out. So we've added that and activated it. But for now, we are sitting right in the middle of the void after dealing with that pit fiend. And we know for a fact that the Forge World, I'm pretty sure that's the Forge World, is having a bad day. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to try and figure out what we're gonna do. I have a couple new locations. That we could check out. Long way. Giavagama. Which is unfortunate. But plenty of places have a look-see. So I'm gonna take 3 turns to get here. I don't have a clear route to it. That's unfortunate. Could take the safe route. But that's just silly. Safe. Safe. Permission to report, Lord Captain. I'm receiving messages about strange behaviors in certain ship systems. All decks report the uncontrollable opening and closing of doors, gates, and airlocks. They behave erratically and do not obey the operator's commands. Regrettably, this has led to casualties among the crew. The tech priests have explained that these phenomena are being caused by the machine spirit's irascibility and have spent hours chanting litanies to soothe their anger. Unfortunately, many crew members were badly injured before the prayers could stabilize the systems. Your lordship, I beg your pardon, but this cannot wait. Drive Master Zira Talar entreats you to visit the Sector Bionica at your earliest convenience. The ancient Archaeotech, the sacred implementation throne, is at risk of being lost forever. The relic is unique and as old as the ship itself. It was damaged during the Trader of Wetgear's mutiny. Despite the tech priest's ceaseless prayers, its machine spirits continue to fade and may soon be irrevocably lost. Well, I gotta go to the Sector Bionica immediately then for this one. High Factorum sighs in relief. I humbly await your arrival. And right into it, away we go. Let's have a look at the new part of the ship, shall we? That's right, everybody bow. The implantation throne is majestic in its antiquity. The metal bench, surrounded by countless injectors, manipulators, and vid screens, leaves no doubt as to its purpose. The very nature of this machine is designed to transform living bodies by fusing them with blessed iron. Even to the naked eye, it is clear the machine is ailing, grievously so. The manipulator's segmented tubes hang limply, bleeding unguent, while the dusty lumens are only dimly illuminated. As the tech priests try to revive the relic, each swing of the sensor is like a pendulum ticking down the moments until the throne's untimely demise. Your lordship, thank you for gracing the Sector Bionica with your presence. You're already acquainted with Drive Master Zira Talar. It is she who has been tending the ancient relic. She is here to convey the wretchedness of our present position. The tech priest slowly extends her mechadendrites, twisting them in an intricate gesture of greeting. Lord Captain, the blessed machine spirit that dwells within the throne is fading. I and many grieving tech priests have been performing unending sacraments of tech healing and prayers of operational benediction on this shrine, but even our devotions are merely staving off the inevitable. This throne is a creation of the Omnici made centuries ago. Even before the unholy desecration of the relic, we were barely able to propagate its ancient machine spirit, perform sacred augmented procedures. Many litanies and operating protocols did not survive through the ages. Now, with the demise of the keepers of the implementation throne during the mutiny, They have been lost forever. The sacred machine must be saved at all cost. What makes this machine so important? It is unique, one of a kind. Tech Priest's optical augments flash, and surprising fever creeps into her voice. In the Logis Annals of the Adeptus Mechanicus, this throne is identified as a shrine capable of autonomous augmentation rituals. Its loss is unacceptable, and any condoning of its use is sacrilege. In addition, only the rogue trader, persons authorized by the rogue trader, may use it. It is an invaluable investment in your longevity and bodily integrity. How are the relics damaged? High Factorum clears his throat and grimaces. During the uprising instigated by the rebellious Master of Whispers, the Sector Bionica was besieged. The Janitors and Medicae officers heroically defended the throne, but eventually the rebels broke through. Most of the defenders fell in the battle, and many machines were lost or damaged. Many were able to be restored, but the throne was particularly badly damaged. So what sacraments can the throne perform? The shrine is capable of autonomously healing flesh and blessing it with augmentations under the supervision of a knowledgeable janitor. Complex procedures can be performed with unimaginable speed and precision, and stimulants administered in the required proportions and combinations. It is a true miracle of the Omnissiah. And how do we save the throne? Only a servant of the machine god endowed with the high rank of janitor extremis, versed in all the necessary rituals and learned in the mystical currents of the motive force, can perform their reparative sacraments and reanimate this mechanism. The only place where one might find such a servant is on the cloistered station of Alter Templum Calixus Ixt 17. Oh, gotta love Warhammer for that one. To the best of my knowledge, the cloister minister's Talia is referring to is located in the Funibundus system. Its denizens are not well disposed of communicating with the litany, but I'm willing to leverage every diplomatic connection I possess to gain an audience with the station's clergy. Anarok, I rely on your collections. The Drive Master's Vox Grill emanates a binary order of thanks. The High Factotum adjusts his monocle with a satisfied look. Thank you for your favor, your lordship. Before you depart the Sector Bionica, I would also like to present to you Janitor Majoris Friends and Vivisect Jays Martinax. They are currently performing an urgent procedure and therefore were unable to attend the inspection in person. But I am certain they will receive the Rogue Trader's visit as a great honor, if you will follow me. So we got a lot of things to do in a very short amount of time to do it. Okay. Pain sticks and bone saws. God bless the Imperium. The smell of medical supplies and weak cries of pain fill the cold air. Two figures stand over an operating table. The patient lying upon it is bound in place and has his head is soaked in blood. A woman in uniform is desperately trying to force her way to the table. Please help my son in the name of the Golden Throne. I know you can. Notek has endured so much. The lined face of the middle deck veteran is contorted with grief. Every word she speaks comes out in a long moan. Your lordship, the Medicae officer dressed in protective attire briefly looks away from the table to welcome you with a solemn address. Vivisected Jays Montinax at your service. The Rogue Trader's visit is a monumentous event for the Sector Bionica. Will you grant us the honor of observing the operation? Okay. The hunched tech priest on the opposite side of the table erupts in a furious bionic thrill as he struggles to immobilize the thrashing and moaning patient. After a time, he likewise turns his metal-plated face to you. The life-form Janitor Majoris Fernandez welcomes Lord Captain Solstrom von Valancius. I second my colleague's statement. Tell me about the operation. Lord Captain, our guiding light. My son, Jonathan, he's injured and dying. I carried him here in my arms on my own so the Shurigans can pull him back from the brink. Please don't leave us. The woman's gaze swings from you to the Shurigans and back again. Her mental state is obviously unstable. Still working with the injector, Martinax turns his head to you. This young man has suffered a serious head injury that requires immediate intervention. The Genitor Majoris and I are attempting to stop the flesh from dying off, while simultaneously deciding on a strategy for further treatment. Is there anything I can do to assist? With a whirring sound, Friend's optical augment focuses on you, scanning for the potential utility of the life form. Encephalic healing skill is lacking. At present, nothing can be done. Do not be so hasty, colleague. Heal with the mind, not with medicaments. That's one of the key wisdoms of the Officio Benique. The vivisector stares at the wounded man's face for a few seconds. Perhaps your lordship's presence will lend strength to the patient. Try to support the patient while we attempt to stabilize his condition. Examine the patient. The man chained to the bed is missing the top part of his skull. Oh! The moist pink contents glisten in the lumen light. The patient is conscious. His eyes are open, his parched lips are constantly moving as he mumbles. The man's terrified gaze meets yours and he falls silent. How curious. It seems the rogue trader's presence is indeed influencing the patient's state of mind. Martinax looks back at you with an interest. Whether it is a manifestation of devout faith in his anointed, or a bizarre form of delusion, it can only be to our benefit. Whatever you're doing, your lordship, please continue. Give him a smile. Your mother is here, Notek, and she is very worried about you. Hold on for her. The patient's clouded gaze is locked on the woman's face, the corners of his parted lips stretching into the faint semblance of a smile. His mother stares back, almost unblinking. What do we do? She'll make the sign of the Aquila. A throne of terror blazing in his light, turning aside every evil. Quiet chant emanates from off to your side. Turning your gaze from the patient, you see Sister Argenta, having made the sign of the Aquila, raising a prayer to the God Emperor. Her melodic voice is soothing and instills confidence. Through the bloody foam on his lips, the prostrate man whispers, God Emperor bless you, Lord Captain. Barely exhaling the words, he takes a deep, pure breath. A moment later, the two people leaning over the patient simultaneously raise their instruments. In a colorless voice, the tech priest proclaims, registering the complete stabilization of the life form's condition. Internal cortical damage has been treated. Requesting closure of the calotte and transfer the victim to B-class stimulants. He will live, but the stimulants won't replace that part of his brain. If we implant the sacred cortical augment in his skull, it will restore his lost ability to think and act. Lord Captain, please. The subject has a genuine need for this augmentation. This constitutes a violation of the sacred directives. The value of an individual life form is incomparably less than the value of the sacred technology required. Augments of the specific class are rare and restricted to senior officers. Thus dictate the regulations of the Sector Bionica. What are your respective proposals? I understand that my opinion may strike you as strange, for the mere fact that this poor soul has found his way to the Sector Bionica, it might itself be regarded as a blessing. Yet hear me out. The installation of a cortical augmentation will restore the patient to health, serving as an example for the rest of us through his heroism. This will inspire the people and strengthen their faith in the Lord Captain, and let them know the rogue trader's mercy will not abandon them in the hour of need. The life form on the operating table is easily replaceable and does not possess any substantial functional value. Therefore, installation of the implant would be devoid of sense. Proposing replacement of lost function by means of Class B powder stimulants. The life form will have limited viability and will be gifted an optimal termination period with partial functionality. How was he injured? In the last Void battle, Lord Captain, where he barely survived his injuries. He has suffered a few healing attempts from charlatans on the lower decks and endured a long road to come here. However, no weapon can destroy the devotion and fortitude of a true servant of the God Emperor. True devotion is revealed not in servants' life, but in their death, so teaches the tenets of the web. With a discreet motion, Cabela touches the bloodstain on the wounded man's head and draws a crimson sign upon the metal of the cot. I have made a decision. The Medicae officer and the tech priest exchange glances. Decisions. Fix the augment. We hear and obey, Lord Captain. Martinax offers you a graceful bow. I will see to the implementation at once, and the esteemed servant of the Omnisci will assist me in this procedure. The Genitor Majoris response in Binac carries a distinct tone of displeasure. Ignoring his colleague's reaction, the vivisector begins inserting thin augmentation spikes into the patient's brain with uncanny precision. Before long, the iron plate of the cortical implant replaces the damaged bone with a resounding crunch. In the silence, you hear the soft sobs of a woman. Notek's mother is weeping, helplessly, fiercely wiping her eyes with her hand. Now a smile of relief lights up her face. Thank you, your lordship. I'll remember your intercession for the rest of my life and pray for your good fortune. Maybe a waste. Maybe not. We'll find out. Don't immediately explode. Okay, that's a lot of people on the beds there. Holy crap. I did not see that earlier. Anything fancy to look at? The conveyor is designed to transport dead bodies to the disposal unit. The metal surface is covered in repulsive-looking signals. Okay. You see? There's some goods. What do we got? Shard nets. I was gonna say Xeno artifacts. What are you doing down here, sir? Corpse rations, jewelry. Collected on. I'm not really seeing a whole lot of anything else out here, really. So we do have to fix the chair. Technomat. Do you have anything to say? The registering machine's serious response to Sacred Omega 7 Gamma procedure. Negative. That's not good.
The Divine watches over us.
There's some more goods. More trade supplies. All stuff very important in the long run. Pascal, get over here and try and hack this box, can you?
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
That's a little bit better. Large med kits, stims, remote revitalizer, mark officer. The range at which med kits and stimulants can be used is increased by +6. When a medikit is used to restore an ally's wounds, it restores +0 or 15% of the target's missing wounds. More wounds. Also grants momentum equal to the ally's resolve. The user's weapon skill and ballistic skills are reduced by 5%. Can be installed in the Sector Bionica. Oh good, we get access to augments. Well, that probably won't turn anything bad. Yeah, you've obtained an augment. They cannot be equipped with weapons or gears. To insert in the body, you need to use an implantation throne in the Sector Bionica. Alright, so we gotta get the chair fixed before we can actually use that. Interesting.
We shall reclaim what is rightfully ours.
Anything else out through here? Not really. Back to the bridge. Now that problem solved, I guess we can carry on through the warp. And To the map. I have not visited the system yet. Okay, let's visit it. See what's going on. What do we have here? Okay. Well, just looking at this looks like Eldar? And Chaos ships. That's a problem. We have 2 extractiums left. There's plasteel on the surface here. Trying to figure out how I can go around this without actually getting engaged in battle. And we got some planetary data to give to Opticon 22. Nothing here. Sneaky, sneaky. And nothing here as well. So we do have access to plasteel. Let's see what the last planet has. It would appear we did not get that far away from it. A little bit too close.
Hold fast. Our faith will be tested.
Eldari Shadow Hunters. And torpedoes, great. These guys are going to be quick. Neutron torpedoes. We'll get right back into it again, aren't we? Can I hit these torpedoes?
Unleash the power of our lance batteries.
That was only one of them. Crap. I better throw ours out. I may have to run this. Can we get away? Maybe. Evasion 60%, hit chance 100%, critical hit chance is 5. Ooh, whoa, easy there, don't be doing that. These Shadow Hunters, high evasion, and Shadow Lance and torpedoes. Very narrow firing arc, though. You know, actually, I wonder, can we cut in between those torpedoes? Because there should be a very narrow arc. This is a risk. This is a very big risk. If we can reduce their damage too, it's not a bad thing. Good. 2 of those are down. Forward guns. That's a miss. Ugh, of course. Of course. Shadowlance is a little bit more on the nose than I thought it was going to be. I think shields are holding, though. Oh, everybody's clustered. Can I... Where is my about face? Shields are holding. I gotta go a long way around on this one. I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be all right to reboot my shields. Is it gonna be all right to reboot my shields? Yes.
Destination locked in.
Please tell me I didn't just double click. There we go. Can't really go anywhere. And they're out of range for firing. That's all right. Those torpedoes will exhaust themselves next turn. Good. 2 or 3 turns, I can't remember. But we're in a position to engage these guys. Yeah, torpedoes are not a problem. All right. Detonation, nothing going on that one. Shadow Hunters are turning back around. They do not have the range. Though there are more torpedoes out. What do we do on this one? Push up. 58% chance to hit these guys. Well, that was good damage.
Rain destruction upon
Dump our
enemies.
torpedoes. Get a little closer.
I want to hear the macro cannons roar.
Did not pop any of those.
Full speed ahead.
Come on. All right, one down. Here they go. Ah, they went for ours. Okay. Their Shadow Hunter is turned. Shield's taking hits, but not too bad. They're not going to let us drop our torpedoes. One turn before our straight run is done.
Set course with all haste.
Come on, baby.
Deliver demise.
That's a miss. A straight miss. Straight misses. And we're one square off from actually ramming. Our gun's not quite online. There we go. Still 58% hit chance.
Unleash a barrage of destruction.
That's a little bit better. We're damaging them. It's taking us a hot minute to do it. I don't think that's the right angle. Just outside. Shields holding. That's more torpedoes on the field.
Lock on and launch.
We'll drop ours, see if we can draw them again. If I can turn. Maybe just a little bit more. Just outside. Just outside of range. Come on, baby.
Sing that deadly litany.
One hit, one miss. This is a big ask. I don't know if it's going to work. And it didn't. And I put myself in a bad spot. All right, we're in trouble. Now we're taking hits. Let's chase. Plasma torpedoes on the move. Yeah, we're pretty hurt. And that's outside of my range. Awesome. Or it was within my range, and that worked. Shields are down. Okay.
Unleash the power of our lance batteries.
Lance batteries missed. Ram the torpedo. Probably not a good idea. But I mean, it would also be kind of good if I can do this. And I wiggle our way in. And get right close. At least behind the torpedoes so they can't turn around on us. No ram this turn, unfortunately. What's my hit chance? 58 still. Come on. Looks like his field is down. Recharging shields is still one turn out. Directly behind him. I'm willing to bet the Adari ship can spin. We've taken a lot of damage. Torpedoes, however, cannot. Luckily, well, the only shot she's got is one side with shield still. Restart him. Drop those.
Full speed ahead.
Get herself spun around here. Spun around and out of range. Neutron spinning around, not exactly doing anything. I'm hoping that the Adari gets close enough I can use my torpedoes again. How are we going to put him anywhere? He's either going to run or advance. I'm going to actually try and bait him in. We're lined up. We are lined up for a ram. Shields back online, they are.
Deliver them eyes.
That's a hit. Out of range for a ram, couldn't get closer. How many hexes is that? That's decent. Where are those torpedoes? Must have detonated. All right. I got shields up. Let's see what we can do with the front guns. Barely.
Unleash a barrage of destruction.
And that's a straight miss. All right, Shadow Hunter. Hit on the front shields. We actually might be able to angle our torpedoes. Maybe here. Ah. That's not going to help. But that will. Warhead detonation, we're outside of range.
I have missed this feeling.
I'll take that. What do we get for trophy? Wraithbone fragments. Nice. 900 experience. Rank 2, we got 30 scrap. That was not enough to repair anything, was it? We got a level. We got a level. What can we do next here? Warp wave. Flows of the Immaterium cause an enemy ship to immediately turn 45 or 90 degrees depending on the ship's maneuverability. The enemy ship has suffered hull damage. This abrupt turn additionally deals additional damage. Nice. Reinforced shields. Chosen sector of the flagship's void shield is reinforced after it suffers damage. Reinforced sector has an increased chance of absorbing enemy attacks and loses only half of its strength when absorbing damage. Using this ability removes any previous reinforcements. Arc Augury. What is this? Flagship's next shot gains +2 extra range. That's not bad. New heading. While moving, the flagship may make its next turn at 90 degrees instead of the usual 45. I mean, to bring gun arcs in, that's actually not too bad. Increased range or gun arcs? I'm gonna say gun arcs. And then increased range? Let's do it. Nice. I repaired a little bit. Can't upgrade our RAM. It costs 155 to upgrade it. 65 to upgrade. We've got no new parts. And 37 to repair. Well, we're certainly going to repair it. We don't have enough for the RAM upgrade. That's okay. We'll save the rest. Let's have a scan of the planet here then. Monastery of the Order of the Hammer. Lord Captain, we received a transmission from Foulstone. It was sent by members of the Order of the Hammer, votaries of Saint Cognatus, whose monastery is the only settlement on the planet. Or rather, it used to be. Some time ago, a transport vessel, the Navica, unloaded several thousand refugees from a planet belonging to rogue trader Winterscale. The Order of the Hammer has judged this invasion to be an act of aggression and is asking for your lordship's protection. Well, I think it's time to take the monastery under our protection. Winterscale throwing people out into planets for no reason? As it pleases your lordship. So, 11 days after the feast of the passive Nick and Morty's key, the champion of faith. Okay. I quite admired the calm of the monastery of the Order of the Hammer. Countless tortured souls steeped in fear arrived on Foulstone in a star bark. Okay. A great apostate had befallen their home and turned them into abject wanderers seeking help from refuge. Their wicked and cruel captain, the owner of the Navica, had betrayed them. Once the unknowing souls in his care had made landfall on the world's surface, he most deviously recalled the shuttles and left, thus ridding himself of his duty to care to the unfortunate lot. Not knowing how they would survive in Foulstone's grim wasteland, the Forsaken people came to the monastery of St. Cognatus, and there they surrounded its walls. They hammered their fists on its gate and implored and wailed, "Take us in! Protect us!" What once was a place of serenity and grace was now full of din, disorder, and all manners of things despicable. The interlopers brought with them worldly futility and strife, and mayhap also the seeds of alluring blasphemies, if fiendly heathens lurked in their midst. So after a prayer, the prelate Hecatarius turned his eye to the past in search of instruction. I said the name completely wrong. Prelate Hectarachus. You know what? Prelate H recalled the first missionaries to set foot on Foulstone's vast wasteland, led by their zeal for serving St. Cognatus. And those missionaries had received the blessings of Nicmodius, the champion of faith, who had traveled with them in their starbark to found in this place of humble and pure abode wherein to culture wisdom and piety. In St. Cognatus, a man of great endeavors, a warrior and a wise artificer, never cowered behind the walls of a librarium, but stepped bravely into the darkness, carrying light in the palm of his hand, and commanded others to do the same. And not only Foulstone, but many other worlds of the Chronos Expanse bear its imprint. So they welcomed them. Cool. Brethren and sisters of the Order of the Hammer came forth to meet the strangers, carrying water and protein victuals and medicinal herbs and jugs of promethium. But the crowd came to blows over viands, and blood was spilt, and many of them trampled or mauled in the stampede, some of them dwellers of the monastery. Then the warriors of the Order of the Hammer donned their flak cowls and scribed words of praise to the God Emperor on their tactical visors, and went forth, ready to render service in battle. With lasguns and bolters, they pierced the interlopers. With their chainswords and power flails, they struck them. And a great and bloody harvest was reaped that day. But the interlopers too, scant though their armament was, and scanter their skill in battle, slew many among the monastery's dwellers, for great were their numbers and greater their desperation. The monks fled behind their walls and rang the vox alarm and shut the gate, commanding the armed guards to keep watch over the gate, slaying any who approached. A quarrel broke out. The hungry and the sick lay siege to the monastery, begging for help. In their spite, they blocked the water collector and powered the generatum. The faithful, in the meantime, made ready to resist. And a miracle came to pass. The God Emperor... what do we do? We have a lot of heretical options here. Summon to account to hold for the deeds. Could take them into our care, unleash the armed forces upon the interlopers, and just beat the crap out of everybody. Bade the dwellers of the monastery fight the interlopers in his amusement. Gaze upon everything and just peace out. Over Iconoclast. We're going to have to extend a veil of protection over the interlopers, taking them into his care, and thereby of all Foulstone with them. Establish a new colony. Okay. That's new. Humbly, the Order of the Hammer heeded the God Emperor's confidant and unsealed the airlocks and opened the gates of its abode, and brought forth gifts of virtue to relieve the suffering of the ill-stricken. After a prayer, the architects set to work. In accordance with the saints' teachings and the parameters set forth in the standard template construct, they erected spacious living quarters and sturdy fort walls for the planetary militia, and a spacious auditorium wherein to trade and store goods, and a proud censorum within walls, whose walls clerks and servo bondsmen would maintain order and keep statistical records. And a new yet righteous way of life came to Foulstone, and the people rejoiced, and all was good. Just because you're grimdark doesn't mean you have to be grimdark all the time. Okay, this is new. Colony characteristics. We have efficiency, which affects the amount of resources produced by the colony, increasing it by 10% for each point. Complacency affects the amount of profit factor produced by the colony and the speed of projects in the colony, increasing and decreasing them by 10% for each point of complacency, respectively. And then security affects the ability of the colony to cope with negative effects on its own. Wow, I have a bunch of projects. Cool. Dominion of the Hammer. The privilege of becoming Foulstone's patron is a tempting prospect for many. However, with the rogue trader's assistance, the Order of the Hammer will retain ultimate authority over the world. With a high throne, ecclesiarchy lacks a capital in the Chronos Expanse from which to guide the faithful. If Foulstone ascends to the status of a cardinal world, the Adeptus Ministorum will ensure the prosperity of their new planetary strongholds. Heretics will tremble when they hear of the alliance between House von Valancius and the ecclesiarchy. And a Celestial Protector. No one in the entire Chronos Expanse will make a worthier guardian of a sanctuary of faith than the head of House von Valancius. A marvelous basilica will be erected in his honor in the world's capital city. It will be decorated with a grand twin statue of the Emperor and the rogue trader. Thousands of parishioners and priests will say his name in their daily prayers and bring him reverent gifts. So profit factor goes up by 2 and complacency goes up by 2. This. Oh, hey. Hello, new weapon, new thunder hammer. Ooh, that's really nice. So these Drusians, these are followers of the cult of Saint Drusius who believed in continuing mankind's crusade and bringing new worlds into the Imperium's fold. They adhere to principles of asceticism, and high moral standards. Most of all, they value sacred relics and artifacts. Their representative, Reverend Hieronymus Dolosoro, can be found in the atrium on Footfall. Security does go up, though. Gain the Emperor's Retribution feature. Plus 5% to critical hit chance against Chaos enemies. That's nice. Holy Gifts goes up by 5. Efficiency goes up by 2. I mean, more damage against Chaos is always nice. But is that actually the best one for this one? Ideally, security would be something we want to focus on too. Because we're probably not coming back this way for a while. I'm going to go for the Dominion of the Hammer. Locks a lot of things out, but that's okay. There's a lot of stuff here. Holy crap. I'm going to have a look at that one. But that's our projects there for now, I guess. Cool. Colony management. You can manage your colonies remotely using colony management screen with Y. Get it. That does, of course, leave us with some chaos ships on the board. Not a big fan of that. With that plasteel, we might need it. We have 5 coming in from an ice world. Let's bump that number up. 12. All right, chaos. Get out of my system. We're gonna get our butts handed to us, just as a side note. I can feel it. Eldari were quick. These guys, and there's 3 of them. Iconoclast destroyers. Hi. Yeah. I'm gonna say they got angles. They got angles with the dangle. And we're already taking damage. Torpedoes out.
Upon our enemies.
Good. Take that, Chaos nerd. What do we do? What do we do? Rip down here and give him a nice broadside. I would like to use the lance if I could. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be... Well, I can move here. Just barely tag him. And bleed through from the shields. Alright, that worked. Straight haul, straight haul. One ship down. The voids are still good. I do have Arc Augury I can use as well. Gotta remember that. New abilities. Destroyer on the move. Going for the torpedoes. Shields hold. We're taking hull damage on this one. Torpedoes. Remote detonate, please. Good damage. See if we can get those shields down. Not enough.
Show them the fury of our macro.
But a broadside's gonna work. I think we can actually go ahead and do this. Restart the shields. Run all the way out. And what we'll do... we'll do a 180. Destroyer should be out of range. Oh, maybe not. That's quite the run. But that's a miss. Shields restored. Okay. Torpedoes out. Re-sprint spin. And one hex out. Weaken his shields. Good hit.
Helmsman, navigate us to the designated coordinates.
So if I do broadside, two more. It's not going to work, but I got full shield, so I'm all right. I lied. Try to ram, okay. Good hit. Good hit. I'll give you that much. You gotta remember, fighting Imperial ships at the end of the day. Good hit. Now get out of here.
Let the macro cannons sing their deadly litany.
And that was too close. I took explosion damage from that. Why would I do that? We did get a new macro pattern battery. Well, that's nice. Deals 21 points of damage. I'm going to be spending a lot in repairs on this one. Oof. I should have moved away before firing. 82 scrap. Do it. Just do it. Get one of our broadside macro cannons switched out. That was foolish. But hey, we got new guns, so I'll take it. And a new colony in place, so everything's all golden. All right, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. So if you enjoyed today's episode, I know it's been a little bit of since we had the Rogue Trader up and running around here. So it's going to take a little bit to get back into the saddle, I guess you could say. But so far, so good. If you liked the video, by all means, hit the like button. If you want to support the channel at all, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment on down below. Every little bit does help. In the meantime, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.
I'm inbound on your starboard. 7 high tech.
Eat this, toaster. Target acquisition is screwed. Give me manual controls now.